What's going on, YouTube? I'm back with one more video. I wanted to make this video real quick, just now get it out the way. As you all know, the season for the NBA this year is the two teams that's pretty much vying for championships this year are, the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers. You know what I mean? And it seems to be now a bidding war between both the Nets and the Lakers for Andre Drummond. Now, let me say this. Everybody says that LeBron started all this super teaming, right? Which is far from the truth, because if you go back to the I gotta explain myself. I sound like a goddamn broken record. If you don't get it by now, you're just uninformed, and you're biased and everything, all that bullshit. Now, I'm not gonna explain myself like what's going on here, but long story short, let's say the Lakers get Andre Drummond, right? Somehow in the buyout market get Andre Drummond. What's the narrative gonna be? LeBron is stacking the deck again. LeBron is cheating again. LeBron can't win without superstars / all-stars. But, okay, I would be fine with that shit if people kept the same energy for these other cats that do that shit. Okay? Like, Kevin Durant, okay? Kevin Durant has arguably played with the most talent since he's been in the NBA. Think about it, okay? Think about it, all right? Like, goddamn OKC. He got you outside of that 1 year in Seattle, where the 1 year before they relocated, right? He's had loaded teams, right? He's been on loaded teams. He wasn't like, even Kobe. Kobe for a while, even though I think he had some help in his career. During that middle phase after Shaq left, his team wasn't really that good, though I think him and LeBron's team were on the same level. Thing is, though, Kevin Durant has probably played with the most talent in the league. You can name that shit. All of them ended up being either All-Stars or MVPs. Oklahoma City, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, you name it. Even when James Harden got traded, Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka were a formidable team. A formidable team that could have easily won a championship had things gone their way. But because of injuries, and because, more importantly, they choked away that 3-1 lead, it didn't work out that way. Now, I didn't have no problem with Kevin Durant leaving OKC. You give your time to these teams either trade you once you come damaged goods, but yet they expect for you to stay loyal, which is, ass backwards, in my opinion. But it's who he went to. Golden State, team that won 73 games the previous year and the championship 2 years prior. So, like, you got Draymond Green, you got Steph Curry, unanimous MVP, Klay Thompson, who's going to be a Hall of Famer, Draymond Green, who's probably will end up in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. When he was a main contributor on that Golden State Warrior team, right? One of the main contributors on that Golden State Warrior team. He was a main cog on that shit. But yet, people say he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. You don't have to have egregious numbers, like out-of-the-world numbers, not to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, goddamn. Bill Walton's in the Hall of Fame, and he don't have that numbers. He don't have numbers that's like out of the ballpark. Okay? He goes to Golden State, wins a couple championships. Then now, fast forward to now, he's trying to get on another super team. So, Kyrie Irving, who's an all-star, James Harden, another superstar, another MVP, and now Blake Griffin, and now Andre Drummond possibly. Now, why isn't nobody having the same energy for Kevin Durant. He's stacking the deck. He's trying to get all the good players so he can win championships. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But at the end of the day, we got to keep the same energy, man. You know what I mean? It's like whoever gets Andre Drummond, you know, people want to say it's going to turn, you know, going to swing the championship. Okay. But again, why isn't KD getting the same criticism that LeBron has gotten over the years? I mean, Kevin Durant's supposedly the second best, arguably to some people, the best player in the world, right? He's the best player in the world, so hey, he should meet the same expectations as LeBron James, right? So what is these kid gloves going on with that shit? And I gotta say, man, if this at least if Andre Drummond goes to the goddamn Lakers, he'll even shit out. You know, it'll even shit out because you can't sit here and tell me that the Lakers, even the Clippers, goddamn it, weren't even a big favorites like that this year. Stacking up all these All Stars and everything. Even the Clippers, even though I think the Clippers were formidable last year, the only thing they got in their way was coaching number one and probably injuries and inconsistency within the roster. Okay? So, all right, even the Lakers, people try to say the Lakers were a super team. Mind you, a lot of those players that they got, nobody wanted. Nobody wanted those players. And I don't care, you say somebody tries to tell me that the White Howard's a Hall of Fame. The White Howard's been washed since 2014. So what are you trying to say? The White Howard's been washed since 2014. He was just a bench player at this point. Rajon Rondo was nowhere near the Rajon Rondo he was even as far back as 2017, 2016. Blake Griffin has had it's just been recently that Blake Griffin is starting to decline. These past 2 years, counting last year and this year, Blake Griffin is just starting to decline, okay? Now, like I said before, Andre Drummond goes to the Nets, it's not even worth watching, man. At least last year, you had the sense that the Clippers, the Lakers, or Bucks, they were vulnerable, that they could lose. Now you got this super loaded Nets team to where if they get Andre Drummond, he pretty much anchors their defense and pretty much solves all their problems. It's gonna be a problem, man, and it's to the point. It's gonna get to a point once again to where the NBA is unwatchable. You understand? Even the teams, you know, the so-called super teams LeBron James is on, they had a sense of vulnerability. Even the Miami Heat. Now, I wouldn't say the only time that you can actually say that they were actually lived up to the super team moniker and shit was probably between 2012 and 2013. Well, yeah, technically 2011, 2013, but they did kind of overachieve when you think about it because they should have won in 2011. They could have easily won in 2011, but still, you had a sense of vulnerability. And plus, that first year in Miami, people they were favorites, but they were not overwhelming favorites like Golden State was. And now you got the Brooklyn Nets, who seemingly enough are on their way to becoming favorites. You understand? I mean, I don't get it, man. The NBA, we're all the way back to square one to where we were from the past 2 years prior to last year, where there's gonna be one team monopolizing the competition. You understand? Now, you know, like you got a team, you got a player in Kevin Durant who's played with not one, not two, but three MVPs, as opposed to LeBron, who's only played with Finals MVP, superstar. The only superstar players he's had is Anthony Davis, who's close, and Dwayne Wade. Everybody was just an all-star, okay? That goddamn 2016, that Cavs team with Kyrie and Kevin Love were no damn super team, okay? And you got people out here saying the '96 Bulls weren't a super team, but yet they'll beat the Cavs, who were a super team. Okay, what sense does that? What shit does that make? What sense does that make? Okay, that shit makes no sense. Okay, you feel that the Cavs are a super team, then they should beat the '96 Bulls. Okay, when in fact it's the other way around. That '96 Bulls team was a way more well-rounded team. Defensively, offensively, running a triangle offense, and had way more depth. Had way more depth. Had way better players coming off the bench. You're seriously going to take Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, and Iman Shumpert over Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr, and Ron Harper. You taking them role players over those kind of role players? I don't think so. Kukoc could give you 15 a night easily. What can J.R. Smith give you? Maybe 10 if he's lucky and shit. And you gonna take Kevin Love over Dennis Rodman, the best rebounder in the past 20 years, in that probably the best rebounder in that era. But I'm getting off topic, man. Like what Kevin Durant is doing, man. I'm not a fan of it, man. Great player, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not a fan of it, man. Like it would be cool, it would be alright if you want to say LeBron is stacking in debt. Then what the hell is KD doing? What the hell is KD doing? But everybody wants to focus all their energy on LeBron. You know, let's blame LeBron this, blame LeBron that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like I'm cool with the criticism. I mean, if we gonna say LeBron is doing this, then the same energy, the same vitriol should be towards KD too. If that's the case, you know. But like I said, man, if this trade goes down between this buyout and RJ Drummond goes to the Nets, it might be over, man. It seriously might be a wrap because here's the thing. Yeah, LeBron and the Lakers hypothetically. See, I think if they do get Drummond, the only team at that point that can challenge them, that could probably push them to maybe 6 games, is the 76ers because of Embiid and the monster that he is, the beast that he is. The problem with the Lakers is if they play any other team in the West, they beat them in 5 games with Andre Drummond. There's no doubt about that. But the problem with the Lakers is, yeah, they may have a well-rounded team, but their backcourt does not match up real well with Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Don't get me wrong, I can't stand Kyrie Irving, but do you seriously think somebody on the Lakers is gonna stop him from at least scoring 20 points? Don't give me Caruso. Don't give me all them dudes. You think the Lakers backcourt is gonna stop the Harden and Kyrie backcourt from dominating? This is why at least last year's team had a puncher's chance. If last year's Lakers team, was still intact with a couple of pieces here and there, they would have had a shot. They would have had a puncher's chance. I think that would have been a 7-game series. And this is pending me. This is me projecting the Brooklyn Nets with Andre Drummond. Now, without Andre Drummond right now, the way that they're constructed, I think it's an even matchup. So I still would lean towards the Lakers slightly. But Andre Drummond pretty much puts them over the top in a potential series with the Lakers, because as great as LeBron is, how is he going to stop the Nets backcourt from dominating when he has to worry about Kevin Durant? And then you have bodies with Drummond, DeAndre Jordan, and even Blake Griffin to throw at AD. And AD's coming off of possible time off, and AD's coming off a time where he's missing games and shit. And now you're starting to wear him down. And the Lakers supporting cast has been kind of underwhelming this season. Do you expect Marc Gasol to do something with Andre Drummond or Blake Griffin. I don't. So, like I said, man, the NBA is slowly but surely becoming unwatchable again. You know what I mean? Because you got one team in Brooklyn that's going to monopolize the competition. And now you're going to have all these elite teams going to be forced to get a third star just to compete. I'm sorry, man. And, you know, it's just you know, it is what it is. Like, don't be surprised if Brooklyn somehow pulls this off come next season. You're going to have one or two teams that's going to have 3 stars on each. And it's going to be only 3 teams with realistic shots at a championship. You know? But, again, like I said, Kevin Durant, he gets free gloves. He gets a pass all of a sudden for doing this shit. Let LeBron have a team with Anthony Davis. Even last year, people were making a big deal out of Anthony Davis. One goddamn player, and people were up in arms. One player in Anthony Davis, right? One player in Anthony Davis. People were up in arms and so, oh man, he's stacking the deck. Worst thing ever to happen, man. He the worst, man. He done ruined everything. But when KD gets Kyrie, Harden, Blake Griffin, and potentially Andre Drummond, it's crickets, man. Like, but end of the day, man, like once this goes down, man, I may not even watch the playoffs because I know what's gonna happen. But yet, you got some LeBron haters that's gonna love every minute of this shit. They hopped on the Clippers bandwagon last year because they thought they posed a threat to the Lakers. Now they got their super team back that can possibly knock off LeBron. They're gonna be loving every minute of this shit. Every minute of this shit. You know? But tell me what y'all think.